The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine CRM. And this morning I'm going to cover options on changing the primary contact of a contact record, the main contact of a company record. Hello, my name is Tim Wilmot and my company Wizard Systems. We're a specialist CRM systems supplier, independent CRM supplier who help mainly small and mid-sized organizations improve their sales productivity, marketing and customer service through the use of simple and affordable solutions like GoldMine. Now, this presentation will be quite short, only about 10 minutes or so. There's not a lot to it. It's quite straightforward in managing the primary contacts of your contact records, but there are lots of other options around how you maintain information about multiple contacts in a company, which we've covered on previous sessions, and we'll repeat that or add a new slant on it on future sessions. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, particularly around this feature, pop that into the question box on your meeting control panel. I'll do my best to answer that at the end. Also, this session is being recorded. After the presentation, you will get an email from our system with a link to the recording, which you can play back as many times as you want to, and it will be up on our YouTube channel as well. If you go to YouTube and Wizard Systems, or one word, that's our YouTube channel, and there's a GoldMine playlist up there of nearly 100 different videos around GoldMine. Okay, let's get started then. Brief mention, as I normally do, about my company, Wizard Systems, long-standing GoldMine supplier. We do anything around GoldMine. We supply loads of different add-ons to GoldMine to extend its functionality where it doesn't do something. That invariably there's a popular add-on that fills that gap. So we provide a wide range of those, and any kind of support and training that you need on GoldMine as well to get the most out of the system. We also have a permanently manned GoldMine help desk ready to answer your calls. Okay, so let's get into GoldMine then and primary contacts. So just a recap with GoldMine, for your organization records, for your company records, that's called a contact record in GoldMine. And there's a concept of a primary contact for that company. So here I have my example of this organization, Test Roofing Limited, and the main contact, the primary contact, is Bob Test. But of course, if you're a B2B organization and you're dealing with fairly large organizations, companies, there may be lots of other contacts that you deal with in that company with your various dealings. So a common way of managing this is with additional contacts tab there. So I've got a couple of additional people at this company, but Bob, top half of the screen, Bob is the main contact. So consider this scenario. You're getting back in touch with Test Roofing Limited, and Bob is the normal person you deal with, but you find out that Bob has left the company. What would be a way, what would be a common way, what would be the best practice of managing that scenario in GoldMine? Because you always want to make sure that your primary contacts are up to date. By default, any marketing activity, for example, will be focused on your primary contact. So we would assume that all of your commercial dealings with this organization would be focused around Bob Test here, and maybe not these more miscellaneous or additional contacts down there. So Bob Test has left the company. You phone up, Bob has left and may have been replaced. You're asking the right questions. You find out who's replaced Bob. Maybe Amelia here has replaced Bob makes sense. Bob's an assistant director. Amelia, commercial director, might be a typical thing that would happen. So in GoldMine, you have a way of swapping the two around because you still want to, maybe there's an argument for keeping a record of Bob in your system. Bob used to work there. Maybe you're a very niche company and perhaps Bob pops up in a new organization, or maybe he starts up his own enterprise and he knows of you. Wouldn't it be nice to know that Bob used to work for this particular company here? It's long since gone, but he used to work at Test Roofing Limited. Anyway, going back a step, Bob has left, Amelia has replaced him. So very simply, we can swap the two around by highlighting the additional contact, which I've done there. And then I click on my right-hand mouse button. And from this little local menu here, I've got options near the middle and swap with primary. So very simply, this is going to swap the two around. I confirm that. So this is just confirming my operation. I'm going to swap these contacts. Yes, I do want to do that. Now this prompt here, against Amelia, it is possible to store some notes, maybe some background notes to Amelia, however you use notes in your company. So it's possible to now place those notes so you don't lose them. Put the notes on the main contact record if you want to. So you can say yes or no to that. But instantly, that has done exactly that. It swapped the two around. Amelia is now the primary contact, in inverted commas, the main contact for this company. Obviously, we've got her address up there and job title. Check the salutation as well. Sometimes with the excuse me, sometimes with additional contacts, some users may not put in. If I just go into an additional contact record. So this is another miscellaneous additional contact here, Raoul. So for example, in this one, I haven't got a salutation for Raoul. Maybe I don't need one. Maybe I don't do mailings to Raoul, because it would be typical when you're doing a mailing or an email, or you're merging in, you're creating a personalized email to Raoul from the GoldMine system. It might be normal to personalize that with in your template. You've got the salutation field, you've got the dear field, or the first name field. So it might be, again, best practice to make sure those are filled in. But if you haven't, take a quick glance at the top half of the screen, make sure everything looks good to go, which in this example it is. I've got the name there, email address, last name, first name, job title that came from Amelia's additional contact record. And there is Bob now placed on the additional contacts tab. Sometimes a good idea is just to, before we finish on this one, just to double click on Bob's record there. And in the reference field here, which is a short comments about this additional contact, you can put anything in there. But you do have a little drop down list there. So maybe you want to pop in that Bob has left the company. So anyone stumbling across this record will be able to see that. So that's probably the most common way of managing a primary contact change. And being a diligent GoldMine user, getting the details of the replacement contact and swapping the two around so that you've always got a primary contact for your contact records. You've always got a main contact for the companies that you deal with. The other thing that you may want to consider is in a situation where you just don't know who has replaced this primary contact that's left, and maybe there's no additional contacts on the record. So Amelia, we phone up again, Amelia has left, but we just generally don't know who's replaced that person. I have seen some GoldMine users use record alerts in GoldMine, so you can use these alerts, these pop-up alerts that will magically appear on a record when somebody stumbles across that record. So you could set an alert against this to remind any user stumbling on this record that Amelia has left, and if for any reason you're contacting that company or this company has rung in, get the name of the new contact that's replaced Amelia. So that might be another way using record alerts in GoldMine. Nice feature. We have covered that on previous 101 sessions, record alerts. Nice way, and not many other CRM systems have that feature. A nice way of it's like providing a little alarm against a specific contact record, just to draw your attention, draw the user's attention to some critical bit of information about that company. So this person's left. If they ring in, get the new contact. To always, as much as possible, try and keep your GoldMine database up to date. So there we are. A couple of things on primary contacts, swap with primary, a nice feature of GoldMine, keeping your GoldMine records up to date, and a couple of scenarios there of how you might handle that situation. So as those listening live, you'll be familiar with the format. Short little Q&A around this, and I'll just wrap up with some GoldMine news for you. If you pop any question you've got into the question section on your control panel. Question from Nikki. I use the relationship tree feature. What is best then? Well, if you've got the relationship tree where you've got like a family tree of those contacts in GoldMine, you could drag and drop the new contact to the top of the tree. You could, again, use the swap with primary option as well to make sure that with the relationship tree, there's normally always a primary contact, a lead contact for that organization. Probably the first contact that you create the organization tree from. So yeah, drag and drop or amend it, use the swap with primary option again. Sanvi, is it possible to have a record of a company with no contact person? Well, yes. GoldMine allows you to do that. You might have the contact field left empty. Maybe you still put in an email address like info@ or something like that. But yes, you can do that. Have a blank entry in the primary contact field. In my experience, it would be best practice to make sure there is a primary contact because many businesses, their activity are focused on individuals, not at the actual organization. So it would be good. It'd be good practice to make sure that you have a person, a named person, as the main contact in inverted commas for that company, rather than just leaving it blank for a long time. Right, don't think there's any more questions coming through. Thank you for those. Latest news as of August 2020, we're still doing online GoldMine training predominantly. We're not going out to visit customers right now, and we're not fully back in our offices yet to offer off-site GoldMine training. So we're doing that all online. If you've got any requirements for training, please contact us. We've got a wide range of training options. So if you want any refresher training, if you come back off furlough and you just need some refresher training there, please contact us maybe over an hour or two, we can refresh your memory with the key concepts and best practices of using GoldMine as the CRM tool in your business. The latest release, I have been on previous sessions been mentioning a 2020 release because Google and Microsoft have postponed their email plans. Then, GoldMine have postponed slightly the release of 2020. The latest release of GoldMine is 2019.1, hotfix 3. That's that .1.3 there. So we get these hot fixes through the lifetime of a version. So 2020 will still be coming, and you will see in this hotfix 3, there are some grayed out screens ready for these email security implementations. So as per Google and Microsoft changing the security or improving the security of their email applications. So that's sort of ready to go in GoldMine, but not fully operational. But the latest release, 2019.3, if you go to our GoldMine blog, you'll see all the latest ins and outs of hotfix 3. Not a massive amount in there, but about half a dozen or so fixes to some issues that some people have found. So take a look there if you want to. Well, we'd always encourage people to keep up to date with the latest release, and to keep up to date with those releases, you do need a maintenance contract. You need an annual maintenance contract, which you can get from Wizard Systems. We can assist you with that to make sure that you're continually kept up to date. So there are these email security things coming in with 2020. Stay tuned. We will feature that on a future 101 to keep you in the loop there. So that's me done for this week's free training on GoldMine, little training on GoldMine. Please email me if you've got any suggestions. Many of our topics come from our customers' suggestions, so please email me. My name is Tim Wilmot. Email is tim@wizard-systems.com. I'd love to hear from you. There's all of our other contact details, so pop up to our YouTube channel where you'll see lots of other previous 101 training sessions that we've done. But fingers crossed, we'll catch up with you same time next week, Wednesday, 10 a.m. UK time, and we'll cover another GoldMine topic for you. Thanks very much indeed. Speak to you soon.